Alright, for this video here, I'm going to be going through just skinning this entire character for anybody that wants to see how I go about doing it through the art kit. If you know how to skin a character, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I will just make use of the range of motion kit, range of motion feature when it comes to just testing out, making sure my influences are in the right areas. And yeah, that's really about it. Alright, the only thing I have done upon getting ready to skin this character was I plugged in my stylus pad to start using it, to start skinning this character because it just have more control than I would with a mouse. And on top of that, I usually set my opacity limit like down to, I'd say about 0.8 and my value down to 0.5. It's a good middle ground in which I like to work for the stylus that I use. I use a bamboo crate. I mean, yeah, it's no freaking it's no high-end pad, but I mean it works. So let's go ahead and start getting this character underway. Immediately I know like the belt's gonna give, there's gonna be some work on the belt, but it shouldn't be too much of a problem. I know for this skirt I don't want really too much influence on it from the pelvis, but I want some. Since, you know, when she walks back and forth or whatever she's gonna do, it's kind of hard to see what's going on, but after a while you just get used to seeing exactly what you're doing. And I want to remove some of that, so I'm gonna replace, hold down control. Whoop. See, this is the issue I was talking about, like replace won't work at times. I couldn't tell you why, but if that happens, I'm just going to add more influence from the skirts onto that. Let me lower the opacity down to like 7. Maybe that won't be affecting as much when I'm pressing down on the pen. Alright, let's turn that value way down. Let's go like 0.35. Let's try that out. Okay. Let me skip down to the lower spine. I'm gonna hold off from really concentrating on the skirt here. Get this still really touchy right now. Hold down shift, just kind of do a gradual gradient from one bone influence to the other. Just like I was mentioning, I use a lot of the range of motion. I'm going to do that here. Whoops. 1, 2, and 3. Solve as one item. Alright. Let's go ahead and close this window down. And test out that spine movement. Yeah, I got a hard edge going on right there. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm only going to really focus on one side of this character because I can mirror it over. When it comes to the hair and the things that are asymmetrical, that has to be manually done. And there's a way you can also single out different pieces because this is one whole mesh acting together. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to paint again. Okay. Where's that hard edge coming in? There it is. So go ahead and even that out a bit more. Let's turn up the value a bit to about 6. I try to follow, like, it's just a rule I set for myself, but I try to make it seem like a gradual edge flow that's going on this character, or any character I skin for that matter. Alright, it's got some good influence going on. Let's go to spine 2. Wow, this is everywhere. Turn that opacity way down. Okay. I'm just doing gradual taps here and there, and every time I tap I just hit the shift tool and, or the shift key to bring up the smoothing tool and just smooth everything out. Now I know that's spine 3, so I definitely need to have some more influence in this area so it holds its shape together. I don't want to touch that hood too much because I know the jiggle bone's going to have influence there. Go ahead and adjust that view. Alright, get some of that in there. Alright. Yeah, I'm giving about 100% to the jiggle bone because I want it to influence this hood a lot. I don't really need to influence this back area all so much, so hopefully that tool will come back and work, and it will not. I just click on that to see if it works and fixes it, and didn't do it. For spine 3, I'll just put more influence on that upper back area. Hopefully it'll eliminate that hood influence. I don't need influence in these areas at all. So, okay. Keeps adding influence in there, which I don't want it to do. But we'll just have to work around once we start getting to the other bones. To this 3, spine 3. Oh, I'm on it. Please, let's not do that. Cool. Alright. Say that upper spine is done. See how it goes when she bends backwards. Alright. Mainly you just want to watch the silhouette a lot too. That's a thing to keep an eye on. Alright. Okay. I'm going to call it down on the spine. I'm going to say we're good there. Alright, let's jump into clavicle. And I need to remove that range of motion because I'm moving on to a different bone set. So I want to turn on the arms and start making those become my range of motions. Clavicle, upper arm, and lower arm, just like we did earlier. Solve as one item. So we're going to get the extremes of what is happening here. Alright. So I usually, I'll push my move tool to deselect everything. I'll select my geometry, and I'll go back to paint weights tool. Come down to my clavicle on the left side. Again, I've got influence up on that hair that I need to get rid of. Come down to replace, which is still giving me trouble. Trying to think of another way to get rid of it. Again, like through the component editor, I can always find that, get rid of the influence. That clavicle is not influencing too much in that area. Well, let's add a little bit of influence. Let's get this thing flexed, find an extreme position just like that, and we can see that right away. Give a little bit of influence, not too much. Start smoothing everything out. I want this hood to be influenced by the hood. Not so much by the clavicle. Since when you look at jackets and they move, people's collar lines don't tend to go with their arms all too much. Okay. Let's jump back to the upper arm. Oops. I was accidentally putting lower arm influence on that. I did not notice. I'm sorry. Arm. I don't want too much influence in that area. Go back to clavicle. Smoothing that out. It's gradual, just apply and smooth, apply and smooth. Just got a lower arm again. Oh. Alright. Let's come down to the hand. Let's bring that back to the 0 area. Let's test out that arm again. Let's see how it looks. Got some neck influence going on. Doesn't look too bad in that area. Yeah, arm looks pretty good. Something's bugging me right there in the silhouette. Oh, you can see there's a little bit of stretching going on back here. Clavicle. All right. And this thing is beginning to chug very bad. So, for now, let's knock out these fingers real quick. Alright. Well, overall that's how I go about doing this entire process for the arms, fingers, and everything else. I'll stop the video there because I'm not going to have a video that's chugging really slowly if you guys don't understand how to do this. Alright.